Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Makita Waterman, coming all the way live from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, to talk about Instagram marketing tips for success. I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting my content. And today will be pretty much a frequently asked question or a conversation around how to position your company or your personal brand on Instagram, how to improve on Instagram, how to use Instagram Reels, how to turn some of your followers into customers, and video marketing tips for success. Hi, thanks for joining. Hiyo, how are you? So today's conversation, as you could probably tell, is about Instagram marketing. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. So as I go through my notes here, you're more than welcome to ask questions. Hi, thanks for joining. So I want to keep the floor open for any questions you have about marketing. A lot has changed on Instagram, as you can tell. The algorithm, which is a fancy word for the technology, and how our posts are being shown is changing every day. A lot of people don't realize that only 10 to 20% of our followers see our posts every day, and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with you or what you're doing. Instagram is almost a 25-year-old app. So it's not like LinkedIn or TikTok where we can post something and 100% of everybody that follows us sees it. So there's certain things that I'm going to be talking to you today to kind of get around that. I've been spending a little bit more time on Instagram than I really want to, and a part of that is because the algorithm is not what it used to be several years ago. But I will do what I can to share some points on how to position yourself as the go-to expert, the company, whether you're selling products and services. So you first want to start off asking yourself, how much time do I have to dedicate to Instagram? Because my strategy, what I do is about 20 to 30 minutes before I share something on Instagram, I actually start looking on my timeline. I look for posts from each and every one of you and the hashtags that I follow, and I start socializing with people. The reason why you want to do that 20 to 30 minutes before you post is because you obviously want to socialize, you want to network with potential customers or just companies or people you admire. It doesn't even have to be to make a sale. But the reason why you fundamentally want to do that every time you post is so that those people will then eventually see your comment, come to your page and comment, or they'll follow you, or they will reach out to you and say, can I buy your product or your service? So you always want to be socializing before you post. Now, if you have at least an hour of time of your day, so you're going to socialize for 20, 30 minutes, post, and then another 15, I'd say about 20 minutes, socialize some more. One of the best ways to get new followers is to not just focus on, hi, City's Choice, thanks for joining. Don't just focus on so much of socializing with your followers, but try to socialize with people that are in the hashtags that you want to target. So let's take, for example, we have two different businesses on the line here. So City's Choice, you're in HVAC, so you can maybe target Brampton Moms or Toronto Business, hashtag example. IO, if you're on the line, or Photography Woke, if you're still on the line, everybody should be socializing with the hashtags of the target audience. So Photography Woke, I've seen some of your work. Thanks for joining, everybody. I've seen some of your work, Photography Woke. So you want to be following hashtags and socializing with hashtags of families or mothers or fathers or construction companies. You have to follow these hashtags, and right before you I was telling everybody, I know we have some new people on the line here. Oh, you're here? Okay, great. So IO, you obviously sell hair to everybody. Anyone can buy hair these days. A man can wear hair, a woman can wear hair, a child can wear hair. We don't want to discriminate against who we're selling to, right? So try to look for influencers that can buy from you. Try to look for moms, people who are into fashion. Anybody who can buy from you is the sort of hashtags that you want to follow. And I know some of you just joined in. I was saying the new Instagram strategy that you want to, if you have at least an hour a day, is socialize with people 20 to 30 minutes before you post, and then socialize with people 15 to 20 minutes after you post. And I was saying that earlier because the algorithm is it's a little bit hard. Only 10 to 20% of our audience sees our posts every day. And those are the people that have been consistently looking at our content, liking, sharing, bookmarking. It's the name of the game for Instagram. And I know that's going to disappoint a lot of you, but I'm here to tell you the honest truth. Facebook, it's worse. Only 2% of our followers on our business and our personal Facebook pages see what we share. And it just is what it is. These apps have been around for 20, 30 plus years. So the reach is not as amazing as it is on TikTok or LinkedIn, where you can put something out there and you don't have to do this strategy of socializing too much, which I still recommend that you do anyways. So to position your company, whether you're selling products and services as the go-to company, you want to make sure that you know who you're talking to, and your captions have to speak directly to who you're talking to. So I'll give you some examples. City choice, maybe you can start your sentences off like the decision maker in the home. This message is for the decision maker in the home or the single mom who needs HVAC help. Your caption can start off with, to all the ladies who, Valentine's Day is coming up, to all the ladies and the guys who want to look fresh with a new braided hairstyle. This post is for you. So the reason why I say you have to be specific with your captions is because I tested this myself. Last year, I purposefully just wrote to the world. I did not say entrepreneur. I did not say social influencer. And guess what happened, ladies and gentlemen? Everybody followed me, but it didn't mean that everybody was going to buy from me. And it didn't mean everybody cared about what I have to say after they followed me either. So make sure that, hi Jessica, thanks for joining. Make sure that your captions are specific to your target audience. If you're targeting moms, speak to the moms. If you're targeting realtors, speak to the realtors. If you're targeting decision makers in a home, speak to the mom and the dads in the home, because if you're not speaking to your audience, anyone will follow you. And when anyone follows you, if you don't get likes, you're not getting comments, nobody's joining your lives, nobody's buying from you, it's not those people's fault. It's because your messaging isn't targeted directly to your audience. Now, one of the best ways that everyone on this line can set themselves up as the go-to person or company is to share educational content. Now, I know that's really hard for people in the beauty industry and stuff. They kind of just want to show the makeup tutorials, and I get it. But City's Choice is a great example of this. He consistently, him and his team, they do videos, and they talk about heating, ventilation, air, and conditioning. And they're really good at what they do because they go behind the scenes and they show some of the issues that they come across when they're dealing with their residential clients. So, and if I was in Ontario, I would definitely call, and I'm going to refer City's Choice to people I know in Mississauga, in Brampton, and Toronto, because he is consistently showing up with educational content. Now, every once in a while, they entertain, they do bloopers and things of this nature, which is good because you don't want to be 100% serious all the time, which is why each and every one of you are seeing me do more like fun stuff. This morning I showed a video of the Wax Museum somewhere in LA or something like that, and it had to do with music. It has nothing to do with marketing and social media, but I'm showing you a different side of me so that I don't seem like a machine sharing educational content. So try to mix your education with entertainment and try to make it fun. How to improve on Instagram. So other than the tips that I gave you, Instagram Reels is really the feature that you want to try to use as much as possible. And I say that because whenever Instagram puts out a feature, it goes across the board. Even TikTok, when TikTok puts out a new filter, everybody jumps on that filter. And what does TikTok do? Because it's a new filter, it's a new feature, it pushes out those videos with the filter or the feature. Same thing with Instagram. So if you're not using Instagram Reels every day or several times a week, I highly recommend that you do it. And I'm not sure if you, ladies and gents, if you missed that post that I showed where all my Reels are going to the Explore page, that's one of the best ways to get seen by an audience outside of your audience. And so another thing that you want to improve on Instagram is to start telling stories and start sharing personal parts of who you are as an individual. Even if you're talking about your team, your investors, you're highlighting customer testimonials. So you get that testimonial, ask your customers to give you a video testimonial. Because as we know, TikTok proved in 2020 that video is way much more stronger than a photo and a caption. So when your customer is showing up with amazing things to say about your company, your products and your services, that speaks volumes because that is your customer taking time out of their day to say great things about what you're doing. And that speaks way more volume than just screenshotting a testimony on your website and hoping people will read it. Trust me, try it sometime. It will help you than not. Other ways to improve on Instagram is to really upload your products on Instagram shopping, and on your stories. I know around this time last year, a lot of people like to share, their cooking and things that they were doing behind the scenes with their family, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I would say on your stories, do an 80-20. 80% education or any tips and advice that will create awareness that your audience has a problem. Because ladies and gentlemen, some people don't realize that they have a problem, or some people realize they have a problem and they don't want to fix it. So IO, some people realize they have to get their hair done, but they don't want to fix it. City's Choice, some people know they have to spend that 5 or 10 grand on that HVAC new water system or whatever, but they don't want to do it even though the money is sitting in the bank. So it's our responsibility in our stories and on our page to show people not just our products and services, but this is what can happen if you don't do this. And I'm not saying get into scare tactics or, try to make people, fear not using your products and services. But a lot of people don't realize that they have a problem until you point out the problem. And I'm not saying do a screenshot and embarrass somebody. I'm talking about, saying, this was my customer, Tracy, let's say IO, because I interviewed you last week. This is my customer, Tracy, and before Tracy bought one of my hair wigs, she had low self-esteem. She kept wondering why people were laughing at her at work, and a friend of her pulled her to the side and said, people are making fun of you because your hair, it looks crazy, or something like that. And now you show an after. Now Tracy is going on dates. She just got married. Her life is great because she's wearing your hairstyle. She's wearing your wigs, and she's feeling good about herself. So that is a story in itself, like a story about a customer success story, or something you realized about your company and you bought a product, and now all of a sudden it's creating value for your customers. Storytelling, I'm telling you, everybody, try it. You don't have to be a New York best-selling author to tell stories. You can tell stories about why you started your company. You can tell stories about what you experienced during quarantine. In order to build that trust factor with people, especially strangers on the internet, because that's what everyone that first follows us, they're strangers. That's what a follower is at first. But you can build them through that cycle of starting out with a story. And don't be afraid to tell stories about yourself every 9 posts, every 2 weeks. Talk about your why and why you wake up every day and do what you do. And that speaks so much more volumes than just seeing products and services on the timeline, because you're opening up to people in a way that you probably would if they met you at your store, or if they met you at the Starbucks to potentially do business with you. And now that we are doing less of that, we have to show more of who we are on the internet. And this comes with a separate conversation, because I can tell each and every one of you to tell your story and be transparent. But it's hard for people to do, because you might be introverted. You might not think your story is important, but your story is golden. And that's what sets you apart from your competition. There could be 1,000 HVAC companies down the street. There could be 1,000 beauty supplies down the street, IO, and everybody else on the line. But the thing that separates you between your competition is your story, how often you're posting, if you understand your target audience's problems, and if you're effectively communicating that in a way that makes them forget about everybody else, because you have the answer to solve their health, their wealth, their beauty problems, etc. So how to use Instagram Reels. So many of you have been seeing me use Instagram Reels every morning. I strategically do that because I know that all of my Reels go to the Explore page. And I think, now don't quite count me on this, but I do believe that Instagram is doing that for me and probably other creators, because I've been using Reels since September. The moment it launched, about 2 weeks after it launched, I started using Reels every single day. Now, there's no guarantee that if you use Reels, you're going to get more followers, but the reach is really important. The more eyes on your content, the more people can notice you. And we really do want reach in every social media app that we use, because without Instagram Reels, it'd be hard for people to notice us anyways, unless someone gives us a shout out on their page and they have a really good, dedicated and loyal following group. So you can use Reels for a number of different things. You can educate people, you can entertain, you can inspire them, you can tell stories, you can show behind the scenes, you can show your family life, things. You can even show things pre-COVID-19, trips that you went to, events you went to, special family moments that you've experienced, and you can share all of that. Remember though that Reels only gives you about 30 seconds. So you have to know how to do whatever it is pretty quickly. If you're on TikTok, don't hesitate to use some of your TikTok videos and put them on Reels. A lot of people on Instagram that aren't on TikTok, they don't really know the trends and the challenges that are happening on that app. So when you bring something completely fresh to Instagram, a bunch of eyes are going to jump on your content anyways, and that's what marketing is all about. It's about grabbing people's attention in a way that eventually builds trust with them over time, for them to be loyal customers or just loyal followers who will actually market your company and your brand on your behalf without you having to ask, because you're just that great. So turning followers, hey, thanks for joining, Kelsey. Turning followers into customers. So I did some research on this, and only 2% of people, supposedly, because I'm sure people like myself or salespeople, our numbers are probably higher because we understand how people think, but only 2% of the people that follow us in a year actually buy from us. And that sounds very disempowering and discouraging, but it doesn't mean that you can't show up every day on social media. Here on Instagram, other than using Instagram Reels and doing some of the things I said before, I am seeing a lot of companies and people who've had about maybe 2,000 or 3,000 followers earlier this year jump up to 10,000. And a part of the reason, other than like paying an influencer to shout you out or doing a really good ad that just outperforms than you would have expected, is using other platforms to then tell people, check me out on Instagram. Other platforms where you can do this, if you have a big following, are TikTok. I'd probably say LinkedIn and YouTube. A lot of the big marketers or the companies that you see that are not celebrities or paid influencers, a lot of the reasons why they have big audience is because they use YouTube and they use TikTok to attract a new following from those platforms. Hi, thanks for joining, Donna. So when you're using Instagram, if you have a good amount of followers on YouTube, if you have a good amount of followers on TikTok, start mentioning at the end of your videos, follow me on Instagram. And that's a sure enough way to get some of those followers to join you. Now that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to become a customer, but marketing, it really takes time. It's almost like dating. When you meet somebody for the first time at a coffee shop or for dinner, there's no way that you're going to marry that person if they propose to you when they first meet you. It's the same thing as building relationships with people on the internet. And we all really have to have patience in the journey of marketing, because every post that we share is a conversation that's supposed to build some aspect of knowledge, a relationship building or something to that effect with all of our followers. So Instagram is getting a little bit tougher, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you should give up on Instagram. I can say for myself that Instagram is the #1 lead generation app for me, and I am on TikTok and I'm on Twitter, and I have thousands of followers on TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn, but either way, and I've been on LinkedIn and Twitter longer, but Instagram, it's much more customer facing, and it's much more friendly than some of these apps that I just mentioned. So don't get your hopes up, even though 10 to 20% of people that see our posts so I'll repeat that. Don't give up on the fact that only 10 to 20% of your followers see everything that you share. It's just the name of the game on Instagram. But other ways to convert followers into customers is to ask questions in your stories. Ask people, what problem are you experiencing right now in whatever niche or topic or subject that you're focusing on, because that can build conversations. And think of Instagram as a golf match. Hi, Katie, how are you? Instagram is kind of slow, so initially at first you might do something completely different, and I'll give you an example. You're probably seeing a lot of my carousels on Instagram every day now, and I remember when I first started sharing them, it was like crickets. I was like, is this carousel thing, is it really supposed to work? But it's human nature, right? When we see something that we're not used to seeing from somebody, some of us don't really know what to say because we're just not used to seeing videos, or we're not used to seeing motivational quotes from people. Then all of a sudden it's bombarded in our face every day from this person, and people have to get used to you switching up your topics, you changing your strategy on Instagram. It's just the name of the game for people, and it's something that you have to get used to. And just remember that everything you do, people are watching you. Meaning, if you're sharing content right now and maybe you're not using the strategy I was mentioning earlier, where you socialize 20 to 30 minutes before you post, and then you socialize 20, 30 minutes after. If that strategy isn't working after about, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks of you doing that, you really have to take a step back and look at your profile. Take yourself out of your mind and ask yourself, if I was a stranger, would I buy from me? You know, is my Instagram page like a website? In my highlights, does it have about me? Does it have the products and services I offer? Does it have the fact that I have a YouTube channel? And so try to treat your Instagram page like an informational, oh, that's great encouragement and advice. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love Instagram. The reach is not as what it used to be around this time last year, but I can say for myself, I can't believe how many people reached out to me this year without me asking for a sale, because I just show up every day and I'm consistent, and I do pay attention to my competitors, and I do notice that they're not doing as much as me, and that's the beautiful thing. Hi Tapas, how are you? If you're ambitious and you have 1 million people on this app doing the same thing that you're doing, or even in your community, think about what they're not doing, because sometimes people, they get so caught up in their competitors that they become obsessed, when it's not about your competitor. It's about what are their strengths and weaknesses, what are your opportunities and your threats. Now I'm kind of talking business plan mode now. So when each and every one of you have an opportunity during the new year, ask yourself, what are my strengths, my weaknesses, my opportunities, where are the threats, and how can I improve on Instagram? Because you really want to be in a position where people don't have to look at your website to buy from you. Once your Instagram is that filled with information that people are not clicking the link in your bio, you know you've done something right. And also too, when you start getting new followers and people tell you, you know, these people are referring me to you, that's another way to know that you're doing something right. And not to make anyone here feel bad, but you really should be getting leads every week on this app. And that doesn't necessarily mean new customers, but you should be getting DMs every single week with individuals. It could be 2 to 10 to more people asking you, what do you do and how can you help me? And again, that's to make no one feel bad, but this app is made for business to be easy, even though the algorithm is not that great, but it really depends on your content. And then the last tip I have is video marketing tips for success. So when you're doing any kind of video, whether it's on IGTV or Reels, try to get your title in the first 5 seconds, because people's time is very valuable. If you're kind of babbling in the first couple of seconds, and I'm not talking about Reels because obviously we only have 15 or 30 seconds, but if you're doing an IGTV video and you're babbling in the first few minutes, rest assured people are going to skip through your video. And when you start realizing that your views are going down, it has nothing to do with your hairstyle or what you wore that day. Everything is about effective messaging and communication. That is all marketing is about. A 5-year-old can market $1 million idea and not go to school for marketing. Hi, Leanne, how are you? So you really have to just make sure that in the first 5 seconds, you let people know why they're there to watch your video. If you can get an app that has subtitles, try to do subtitles, because there are people with hearing impairments on Instagram that might be looking at your video, but they cannot understand it because there are no subtitles. I myself, I don't do this on IGTV, but I should do it because you're missing out on a market of people who might be deaf or might have hearing issues that might want to buy from you. And if they don't understand what you're saying, it's going to be hard for them to buy from you. What else can I say about video marketing? Make it fun, making it exciting. Try your best to kind of lead people until the end of the video, not giving them too much up front, because you really want your video to be seen. And the way that the Instagram algorithm works anyways is if people are able to watch your videos from the beginning. Hey Zuby, thanks for joining. If people are able to watch your videos from the beginning to the end, it's actually good because it tells the Instagram technology algorithm that this is important. And the way that Instagram shares our content to more than 20% of our followers, they only do it if people watch your video up until the end. They're only doing it if people are spending several minutes on a post. And so that's the kind of like thing that I do want to let you know is that even though Instagram only shows our post to 10 to 20% of our followers, if Instagram recognizes that people are spending 2 minutes watching your video or 2 minutes watching your reels and they're reading your caption until the end, Instagram will then take that post and show it to more than 20% of your followers, which is something that you want to get into a repetitive habit of doing with every post, because the more people see it, the more they notice you. And we can all admit this, out of sight, out of mind. You know, we've had many people show up earlier this year and then they disappeared on Instagram, and then someone that does the same thing that they do showed up, and we kind of forgot about the person that didn't show up. So if you're not posting content every day on Instagram, if you are not consistently showing up on Instagram stories with 80% education and then 20% personal moments of behind the scenes, what you're up to, your thoughts on the quarantine, your family, whatever it is, it's going to be hard to catch people's attention, especially on an app where now they're saying 1 billion active users, which is, it's not scary at all, because I can guarantee that out of the billion of users of people on Instagram, probably less than that actually post every day and are consistent, making it an ample opportunity for people who are ambitious and who are committed to build their business to do more than everybody else. So I know I've been talking a lot here, everybody. Thanks for joining me on Instagram Live. I am open to questions because I didn't come here to talk all day. I'm here to answer your questions about Instagram. And a lot of you have been following me on Instagram for a while, and I've seen many of your journeys on this app. I do see a lot of you sharing more content, and some of you are just here to look and watch, and that's completely okay. But I'm here to help. So let me know if you have any questions about how to position yourself, your personal brand, your company as number one. Any questions about how to improve your Instagram Reels, let me know. I've been doing a lot of research on Instagram, really understanding the algorithm, and it truly does change every once in a while. I think the best feature right now on the app, as I mentioned before, is Instagram Reels. Anytime this app has some kind of a new feature. Oh, and there's a new feature called Instagram Guides. When you, ladies and gentlemen, are off of this live, you click the cross button at the top. You'll notice something that says Guides, and Guides in my world is really just kind of like a document that tells people who you are, or frequently asked questions or issues that your target audience has that will position you as the expert. I myself have not used this guide feature, but I have a lot of carousels where I can literally just take some of those carousels and call the guide Instagram marketing. So the guide feature does allow you to take some of the content you have on your page or create a new guide. And I don't believe that guides show up on the timeline, but it's still a little section that people can see and still kind of get to know you, who you are, what you do, and check to see if you are an expert in your field, which is what really people want to do on Instagram. People don't follow people just for the sake of it. They follow it because you make them feel good, you make them smile, you make them laugh, or they're just prospects sitting there waiting for the moment to say, aha, she or he or this company is the best one, I'm going to buy from them now. So what else can I say in marketing? I think video is really where the gold mine is going to be for each and every one of you and myself, which is why you see me share 2 pieces of video every day. Is content creation a lot of work? Yes, it is. If I had a child right now, I don't know if I'd be able to spend this much time. I'd probably have to hire somebody to create content, but it's all about multitasking. So many of you see my IGTV videos. I'm outside, I'm taking a breath of fresh air. That's two birds with one stone, right? I'm taking a breath of fresh air and taking a walk for 30 minutes, but I'm also filming about 10 videos or 20 videos so that I don't have to do everything in the next 2 weeks. And I just upload and I go about my business. The TikTok videos you see on Instagram Reels, those are videos that I've done. They've been sitting there on TikTok, or they're fresh videos. So if there's any way that you can repurpose your content, meaning maybe you have something on YouTube, you cut it down to 2 minutes, you put it on IGTV, save yourself time, ladies and gentlemen. Do not be like some of these companies who don't know. You don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know that it's okay to take something on TikTok and put it on Instagram. Put it on Instagram and put it on LinkedIn. It's okay to take pieces of your YouTube videos or long videos that you film and cut it up and put it on your Reels. Completely okay. So Io says, I have a question about Reel. How do you merge videos together? The way it works is you have to add the first video, and then once that uploads, you have to press the button and then add the second video. And just remember, Io and everybody, it only gives you 30 seconds. So once you do that, you merge it together, and then you press the, you put your caption and you press the publish. Make sure that you click the little button though that says, your Reels will show up on your grid, meaning the front of your Instagram page, and that should work. And if that doesn't work, then there are apps where you can literally combine your TikTok videos. I see it a lot on YouTube. I see that a lot. So let's see. Okay, Andre says, do you know why they stopped business accounts from using music? Yes, Andre. So the reason why they did that is because there are copyright issues. I don't know if you, ladies and gentlemen, even though I'm into marketing, I love my pop culture. Rihanna is actually the beautiful Bayesian princess Rihanna. She is in a legal battle right now, or not battle, but she might be in, because on one of her Fenty Beauty videos, she used a song that she did not ask for permission, and the original artist of the song wants to sue her. So yes, TikTok, you can kind of get away with it to some degree. I've heard instances of TikTok people getting banned for business accounts getting banned for using copyrighted music, but you can kind of get away with it there. Here on Instagram, I really think they want to be safe. Instagram is also Facebook/Instagram, they're going through a couple of legal battles right now due to, privacy. Some people have claimed that they noticed that their cell phone camera has gone on while they're just minding their own business, and so Facebook and Instagram, they're in a legal battle, so they'll do whatever it takes not to get back into the courts for issues for anybody. So I believe that they did that due to copyright, and I am seeing some people convert to personal accounts for Reel so that they can use that music. I don't recommend doing that, because when you go back and forth from a business to a personal to a business, it kind of messes up your insights and makes it hard for you to collect the data and see how well your posts were performing prior to you converting back and forth. But that's a big reason why Instagram is doing that. They have music on the personal pages, but not the business. Tapis says, what are good editing apps before loading into Reels? I've used Capwing. If you're not on TikTok, TikTok has a pretty easy to use editing feature. What other editing apps can I recommend? I've seen people use Capwing to actually use videos and kind of, or take videos from Capwing and then put them on Reels. But the only one that I can recommend right now is, I really have to say capwing.com, and I don't really use editing app for Reels. I do believe you can edit it in Reels. It's not as helpful as TikTok editing, but why don't I do some research for you, Tapis, and get back to you on that, because I don't really use editing apps. I just use the features on TikTok, and that's how I'm able to do my editing. Does anyone have any other questions about how to turn some followers into customers, video marketing, anything that you've seen on my page? I have no problems with answering questions now. And everybody else on the line, as some of you are thinking, they're projecting that by next year, Instagram Reels will start being used 70%, which means there's a high, it's just like IGTV. When IGTV first came out, everyone was using it. People's videos were going straight to the Explore page. Now IGTV doesn't mean anything anymore. It's you're lucky if your video gets from IGTV to the Explore page if you're a celebrity or a big influencer. So try to use Reels as much as you can. If 70% out of 1 billion active users will start using Reels next year, it's a very good chance that it'll become oversaturated and it might not provide as much reach as you'd like. And try to test. My views on Reels are not as good as the views I typically have for trending videos on TikTok, but sometimes you hit and you miss. I took a Christmas video I did on TikTok, I put it on Reels on Christmas, and I got over, I think, 2,000 views. That was my first biggest Instagram Reels win, and I had no idea it would perform that well. And sometimes you just have to test things and see how people react, and then know that this is something I have to keep doing, or hey, I just had a good day, let me try something else. And that's what marketing really is about. It's just about testing, seeing how people react to your content, doing more of that, but don't be afraid to test, because if you don't test new things, how is anyone going to know what's going to work? Jessica said, any tips for realtors? Yes, that's a good question, Jessica. I see a lot of realtors on LinkedIn. I see a lot of local realtors on LinkedIn. I see a lot of realtors on TikTok. And some of them really, I don't know if they're converting some of their followers, but I do see a lot of realtors on TikTok. They'll do like a showing, they'll add really fancy or, a really trending song, and they'll show the house, and they'll use local hashtags. And I am noticing some in our city, they're using local hashtags, so the TikTok algorithm is noticing who they are. And I'm noticing in the comments, people in realtor-specific cities are asking, how much does that cost? I see realtors in Toronto on the For You page is like the Explore page, but it's up in your face on TikTok. And they'll be in like a penthouse downtown Toronto, and they'll be like, can anybody guess how much this penthouse costs per month? And they'll do kind of like fun stuff like that, instead of like treating it like, they're in the house and then they're asking people, do you want to come for a viewing? They kind of just do fun things. I see people do luxury homes on TikTok where they'll be in a $30 million house and they'll just like walk around the house, they'll swim in the pool, and they kind of treat it like a lifestyle. So if you're really good at creating lifestyle marketing, or instead of selling, like come to this viewing on Saturday, but it's more like you're creating a lifestyle around your house, in the community and the neighborhood, I think that would really help. But realtors, I think some of the best ones that I see on Instagram are really sharing educational content. They're talking about mortgage rates and first-time home buyer tips and advice. They're showing behind the scenes. They're doing what everybody else kind of does. They show the family that just bought the townhouse with flowers and things of that nature. But for everybody on the line that is willing to step outside of your comfort zone or just try something new, try to treat your Instagram like a reality show. There's a reason why the Kardashians were on air for 2 decades. There's a reason why Housewives of Atlanta and Housewives of Los Angeles are successful. It's because they're showing behind the scenes. Well, now whether they're scripted or not, whether those are real scenarios or not, that's not up for me to judge, but it works. So if you as a realtor, IO, City's Choice, Tapas, anyone else on the line, if you can start thinking, how can I treat my page like a reality show, show my fun side, show I don't know, fun things that I do on the weekend, show educational content, make people laugh, make people smile. And you don't have to overexpose yourself. Nobody needs to see your children, your wife, your kids. That's up to you. You can keep your personal life as private as you want to, but the more and more you show, the more the walls of trust you start to bring down. And then that's when you start getting people every week in your DMs like, what exactly do you do? I want to jump on a Zoom chat with you. Is there any anything more that I can learn from you? What's your website? And so just try to think of every content as like you're kind of having a conversation with a stranger, and you're just being yourself. And don't worry about, how you look or your designer clothes or your makeup. Nobody really cares about that one unless you're like a beauty influencer. But even the beauty influencers, like I think Jennifer Lopez on Instagram, she admitted that one of her best selfies was with her with no makeup and her hair wasn't done, and she didn't look like Jennifer Lopez on the what's that thing, that football, the NFL, I don't even know that thing, the event that they have every NFL. She didn't look like that. She just had a selfie and she was like in a bathrobe, and there was nothing sexy about the photo. It was just Jennifer Lopez with no makeup on. So try not to overthink how you look. If you want to show that luxury look, you're more than welcome to, so that you can attract a certain clientele. But I'm sure your luxury clients, Jessica or anybody else here, they will just appreciate seeing you every once in a while on Instagram, just being yourself, because that's what people buy from people. They don't generally just buy from companies unless it's out of convenience. Thanks for joining, Malcolm. So 43 minutes in. Wow, I can't believe I talked that long. But I'm still here to answer any questions. Instagram is going to change, and as long as you change with the trends and you jump on the newest features, this app will reward you. And I'll just recap again, some of the best ways to get new customers and followers on Instagram is to use platforms where the reach is much better, i.e. YouTube, if you can have that much patience to grow your account, i.e. TikTok, i.e. LinkedIn, and tell people you have an Instagram account, because once you take somebody off of YouTube to Instagram, there's higher chance of them turning into your customer. Jump on Instagram Reels every day or every week if you possibly can. Before you post, 20 to 30 minutes before you post, socialize with people that you follow, people that are in the hashtags you follow, and search hashtags and just go through what you like. Leave a comment. It doesn't have to be emojis. Something kind, something funny, something that'll make the person smile. Marketing is all about grabbing people's attention. I'm sure each and every one of you used to watch television. I don't watch it that much anymore because I do a lot of streaming on Amazon Prime and YouTube and stuff like that. But back in the day, I'll leave you with this. Back in the day when we were all younger, I'm not sure about you, but I used to love waking up on Saturday morning watching cartoons. Not just for the cartoons, but I used to get excited to see what was going to be the new Barbie, or what was going to be the new Power Rangers movie, or what was, X-Men going to dish out for the next season of cartoons. So just remember too that those cartoons on television, they were strategically done. Cartoons that were in Toronto commercials in Toronto were way different than commercials in New York City. And I know this because I do a lot of traveling, and when I see a Nike commercial in Canada, it's totally different. Like, they even use different influencers and different celebrities in the United States when they're using the same shoe or they're marketing the same brand. So marketing, it's not rocket science. It's just you have to post a little bit more than your competition. You have to create a lifestyle behind everything that you sell, because Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, these people have a brand, whether they want to accept it or not. And people don't like them because they're billionaires. People like them because they strategically knew how to show up on our magazines. They strategically knew how to show up on Twitter. They strategically knew how to show up consistently on Forbes as the greatest XYZ. They know marketing like the back of their hand, and that's why these people, even if they were to disappear tomorrow, no one will forget Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. These people know strategically, and they have teams of people who have their back and know the certain apps they should be using and the certain tweets that they should dish out. So why can't we do the same thing? Why can't we have a strategy behind everything we do, instead of waking up and just guessing, I did a selfie on the weekend, I'm just going to plop it on here and hope that I get some sales? That's not the way marketing works. So just try to do your best to educate yourself, and I'll do my best to keep sharing more content, but everything comes with a strategy in order to be the best HVAC technician, you have to go to school. In order to be the best realtor, you have to take some courses, right? So there's a strategy behind everything. So just make sure that you and your team are using a strategy. Be consistent, be optimistic. 2021 is a new year, but everything is going to be on the internet. So if you're trying to do radio and magazine and TV commercials, I'm not saying it's not going to work, but people's confidence and faith are more now on apps and just on the internet in general. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to eat dinner now. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me today, and I will be back again the following Monday. I don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about on my next live on Monday evening, but I will show up for you every Monday, and I appreciate each and every one of you asking your questions. Hope all of you have a good evening, and I look forward to seeing your content as well. Bye, everybody. Take care.